Well, I really wish we had smell-o-vision here, let me tell you, because there's some fantastic pongs coming off of all these brushes and things. We're here with Stephen Hawkins, who is a fantastic oil painter, and he's going to talk us through some of the materials you need when you're a beginner using oils and starting out. So, I mean, is it expensive? Looks expensive?
Yeah, it adds up. It's, you know, you start off cheap and then you add to it, you know, and over the years, I mean, this is a few years of
20
painting.
years or so you've been...
15, 20 years, yeah. So it adds up. Yeah.
Fantastic collection of brushes, and they're in, I don't know if the camera can see, but they're in all sorts of states of disrepair.
Yeah,
really.
that's it. Well, I have favourite brushes. You buy some brushes and you don't get on with those, so we tend to I put them to the back. You know,
you're a hoarder, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a hoarder. Yeah, that's it.
But I mean, as you said to me before, they double up for other.
Yeah, they have other jobs too. Yeah, stirring brushes and things. You know. But I suppose what you really need though is a good range of. Depends on what size you're planning to paint on. But you need a few large brushes and a good range of middle-sized brushes and one or two small ones.
What hair is this? Are these?
These are they're a mixture of ox hair and the synthetic ox hair and what have you. And
you're not a brush snob?
No, I buy them because I use them and get to. I'm not fussed. No, not fussy at all.
It's one of the things. Sorry, interrupting you, but it's one of the things that people, get quite hung up on is getting the right hair brush, especially for oils, and the right quality brush. But in your experience, that's not such a worry.
No, I think for an oil painting though, you really want to have the slightly stiffer bristled brushes. The sort of more nylon brushes that you get, sort of designed for acrylic painting, they tend to leave a hard mark on the painting, a hard edge, and you don't always want hard edges on paintings. So these give a softer result, and when you come to paint large sky areas, you can get nice blended results with these brushes, where it'd be more difficult with a smaller, softer brush. Yeah. Which seems a bit odd, isn't it, really? But
no, it's interesting. I know you've got household brushes and all sorts down here.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things there. Yes, yeah. Well, I use that in the background for trees and large areas like that. It's because it's so random what the market makes, so you don't quite know what's going to go on where, and with slightly different colours in all the bristles, and you get this sort of background effect for trees really, and so I like that sort of thing. I like to just try and experiment with different brushes because some of them are just good for a really good thing, and it works. So
you think, play around, trial and error?
Well, trial and error. You do need, some sort of brushes about this sort of size for painting in backgrounds and what have you. But if you use too many small brushes, it just takes you so long and you end up with all these fiddly marks.
Are you a knife man?
I do use knives, but not a lot. I do use them, and I would recommend you get some knives. They're when you come to mixing the paint on the palette, they're the thing to use. If you're stirring around with a brush, you're squashing it and breaking it, and you just mix more paint up with a palette knife. So, use a palette knife. Now,
talking about palettes, this is amazing. Now, look at that for a palette.
It's a mess.
It's delicious. Now, you've chosen a large wooden palette. You can get everything from tear-off sheets, can't you, for oils?
Yeah. Anything's good. The people I teach, they use. I've seen a good assortment of things, and they all seem to work really. So I wouldn't be too worried. A piece of hardboard, a tray, anything would do.
Really?
Anything would do.
So I mean, when you're starting out, of course, you just want to see if you like them in the medium, don't you? You don't want to fork out on all these.
That's right. I would just go for a nicely priced, sort of cheapish palette that's not too big, not too small, middle size. That's a big one. Yeah. But and that's it.
And then there's other curious and interesting things like
that's a marl stick. It's used for painting across wet paintings.
Oh, when they lean.
Yeah, so you can lean on it. Yeah. So anything stout will do though. This has got a metal handle, but you could use a stout brush across your canvas. Right. So.
Now we did mention the pong earlier.
Yeah.
Does that come from the paints or the cleaning fluids?
That'll be the white spirit, I should think, or the terps. So we use the white spirit for cleaning the brushes.
Okay.
Some people use it for painting with, but it's best to paint with terps.
What's the difference between the two?
Yeah, this is a more natural substance, turpentine, and this is the more sort of man-made substance from
just a basic
the
shop
oil
zone.
and things. Yeah. So, and you don't want to be really clean your brushes in this because it's more pricey, you know.
Does that thin the oil?
That thins the oil,
Right.
yes. Yeah. So you use that in the underpainting, and just generally mixing with other bits of other mediums.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Now, are they expensive liquids to buy? I mean,
Yeah.
the shop zone one doesn't look.
Yeah, they're a couple of pounds for the shop zone thing, you know, and you're best about getting a large quantity,
Right.
really. You know, a little tiny jar will be expensive,
Yeah.
but if you can just get as much as you can, and it's not too bad, and it does make a difference on the painting. When you come to paint with it, it's a lot easier to use.
Don't skimp on the.
Well, try not
On that
to.
kind of
try
thing,
not
yeah.
to. Try
And
not to.
are there other mediums you can buy? You've got all sorts of goodies
yeah,
here.
I keep it all very simple with my painting, and I tend to mix with a drying medium, and Winsor & Newton will make one called Liquin.
What's a drying medium?
It's an Alkyd medium, which is a recent development, or quite recent development. And you can buy Alkyd oils, which dry quicker, or you can use what I've got, which is ordinary oils with the Alkyd medium to stir in with the
That
paint.
just fastens up the process of the oils drying off.
It does, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't need much. Too much could be the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But it could make
Will
the
the
paint
oils
brittle.
crack if you overdo it?
Yeah, it could become brittle. Although they say you can glaze with it, and I think you can buy a glazing medium that dries quickly. So. Yeah.
There's so many things. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess they're in it for the money, aren't they? If they can
Well,
sell it to you.
They'll try and sell you as much as they can. That's right. But really, white spirit, terps, linseed oil, which is a slowing medium, and a drying medium would be all you need, really.
Yeah.
I don't actually use the linseed oil very much, just occasionally.
Right.
But it's used it makes the paint more flexible and slows the drying down. So.
Now, what other essential kit? The paints,
we
clearly.
have spoken about paints, have we? Yes.
I was curious to see you haven't really got a big name brand there.
No, I haven't. I've got a pretty run-of-the-mill sort of Spectrum paints, and I like them. I've used them for many years, and I've got on with them. They have improved recently as well. Like they had a smallish range of colours, and I had to buy certain colours in other makes. But now they make those colours as well. So yeah, I can get all the colours I need.
In terms of pigment, now artist colours are supposed to be the ones with the strongest pigment. Are they?
Yeah, it does follow through. It does follow that. You know, if you pay more for the paint, it'll be a stronger colour, and you won't need to use so much. But if you're worried about that, I think you could cut costs on the cheaper, on the less important paints, and just pay out on the expensive colours, on the colours that you need for brightness, really.
Right.
So you need a lot of pigment on those, and you'd probably need yellows. Really, we're talking about sunshine yellow, aren't we?
Yeah.
So you probably need to spend out on the cadmium yellow or something like that.
Okay.
To give you a good bright yellow, but otherwise, a lot of the paints nowadays have the pigment written on it, and you can look along and find the cheaper version in it with the pigment on it, and save your money like that.
And I guess when you're starting out, you don't really need to worry so much about the pigment. You've got to
No,
learn to
you've
use
just
it
got to get
first.
going, really, haven't you? So get a small range of colours as cheap as you want to, and you'll be set then, won't you?
Yeah. Then what do you paint on?
And then painting on, I paint on various homemade things. I have a board here which I paint on. This is just a piece of old hardboard. Now I prepare this in the traditional proper way with rabbit skin glue and whiting, and it makes probably, I think, the best surface.
Wow.
It's produces this lovely smoothish surface which is about the right absorbency, and it's about the right slipperiness. It's just right in most ways.
And I guess, if people could get together, art clubs and what have you, they could do a batch of these, which will make it worthwhile.
Well, they could actually. You could all buy. The rabbit skin glue is so cheap. The whiting is cheap,
Where do you
And-
get rabbit skin glue? Is that
Yeah, from a good art shop, you get that. Yeah,
Okay.
again, buy as much as you can, and it comes in sort of 500 grams. It's a few pounds, you know, £2 or £3.
simple
and
as it sounds? Just paint it on?
Yeah, the rabbit skin glue is a bit tricky, but I have to say. But if you sort of follow the instructions supplied, you'll have no trouble with it.
Okay.
And the canvas here, I make the canvas myself as well, and that again is rabbit skin glue size. So I stretch it first on the stretchers, rabbit glue over the top, and then a primer over the top of that. And these are various. There's an Alkyd primer I use, and some of my I haven't got one here. Lead primer as well.
Right. Ooh.
Yeah. This is a different canvas, in fact. As you can see, this is a linen canvas from the colour, and it produces a really sort of fine,
It's very fine, isn't
regular sort of.
Yeah.
You get it in different grades, but it's very regular. Little high points on there. I don't know if you need
But again,
close-ups on that.
Beginners, you can get ready-made canvases
Yeah.
very economically
That's
these
right.
days, can't you?
Yeah. Yeah, and you'll be paying a few pounds for those. Just go to a shop, look online, catalogue or whatever, and you pay next to nothing for them. Really,
You would recommend them. You don't think they're
they're fine. They're fine for starting up. They're just good. They're just a good thing, you know. And if you do end up with a good painting, you know, you've got something good. It's presented on something
Yeah.
good, and you know, it's fine. You can get ready prepared boards as well. Some come with canvas sort of pattern on them, and some with canvas stretched over, and they're all good too. Some of them I find are a little bit slippery, and you may not get on with them, but on the whole, yeah,
have a play.
yeah, they're good. You've just got to experiment, really.
And bits of rag. Plenty
Good
of
old
rag.
Plenty of rag, yes, you need some rag.
Is it? I mean, it does look like a very messy medium to work with, and a very smelly medium to work with.
I think it's smelly, definitely.
Is it a love-hate?
Well,
You're
sort
gonna
of,
love it or
yes,
hate it, aren't you?
yes, yeah. I think most painting you get messy, don't you?
Yeah.
Even watercolour, you get mess on your fingers, but not like this, I have to say. And pastels is messy, oils is messy. So,
What draws you to it then?
and the things you can do with it, yeah, you can get some really lovely effects and the texture of the paint, and just making that good thing on the canvas is good. Yeah,
Yep.
good feeling.
Delicious.
Yeah. So.
Well, thank you, Stephen. That's great. Now, you're going to do some a demonstration for us, aren't you?
Right, yes,
A bit
yeah.
later. So that will be in our demonstration section, folks. We'll see you there.